Greetings, my friend. Thank you for the gift of your time as I offer you this second of 3 videos on discerning our stewardship. This second video is entitled, The Center of Our Discipleship Stewardship. When last we spoke, I shared that to our society, we are each seen as primarily consumers, economic units of consumption around which our economy spins. Not so with God. God sees us as his beloved children, sustained and utterly dependent upon his grace. Should we remain in a consumer mindset, happiness will always be an elusive prize. Yet should we rather seek to become disciples of Jesus, happiness can be ours together. Understand that Jesus and our collective relationship with him as a parish is at the center of our discipleship stewardship. Our reality before God is that we are debtors. Even that which we think we own is really on loan from God. One would think gratitude then would be the order of the day. But gratitude in a consumer mindset can all too readily be twisted into an "it's God's job to provide for me" attitude. Here's an example of what my spiritual director would call stinking thinking. Sure, God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son to suffer and die for me. But how could an all-loving God do otherwise? I mean, God is love, right? It's God's job to save me. A consumer mindset can make God's miraculous sacrifice mundane and inevitable. A disciple, on the other hand, is keenly aware of our debt to God and in gratitude wants to respond not with a tit-for-tat mentality of a consumer, but rather as one lover to another. Jesus requires all of each of us, not just what we feel might be enough. Jesus preaches, "Anyone who puts anything before me, even their own life, cannot be my disciple." A disciple cannot give enough of themselves to their beloved and finds happiness in living for the one that they love. This is where our discipleship, our stewardship, comes into the picture. Stewardship is not about what we need to do to keep the goods flowing. Stewardship is not about what we owe God for services rendered or favors granted. Stewardship is how our discipleship finds concrete expression. Stewardship is what our love for Jesus and his mission looks like as we make our way through the day. And stewardship is a collective effort, not just an individual project. Pope Francis writes, "Faith is not a private matter, a completely individualistic notion, or a personal opinion." He writes that we are not lone rangers, you see. Our relationship with Jesus necessarily initiates us into something bigger than ourselves. It initiates us into church. Being a member of a church, however, does not mean that our personal relationship with Jesus is lost. Our personal relationship with Jesus is enhanced by church and finds its fullest expression within church. Again, Pope Francis writes the following, "Christians are one, yet in a way that does not make them lose their individuality. In service to others, they come into their own in the highest degree." Stewardship is how this coming into their own happens. As church, our stewardship is collectively manifested in our worship, our heart, our formation, our mind, and our service, our strength. Remember what Jesus teaches. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. All three areas of our parish life are organically connected to one another and form a whole. Separated from one another, our worship, formation, and service can become merely a means of self-gratification. Yet taken together, they become our means of life-giving encounters with Jesus Christ. Creating such encounters with Jesus Christ is what we are about as a parish. An encounter with Jesus that places him at the center of our life is what a lover of Jesus yearns for. It is our path to real holiness and happiness. Concerning the effects of not having Jesus as the center of our life, Pope Francis writes the following: once man has lost the fundamental orientation that unifies his existence, Jesus as the center of my life, he breaks down into the multiplicity of his desires. His life story disintegrates into a myriad of unconnected instants. If you find yourself suffering from the multiplicity of your desires, or you feel that your life is an endless myriad of unconnected instants, then consider deepening your involvement in the communal life we share together as a parish. With Jesus as our center, happiness and fulfillment can be found here. St. Bernadette provides the fertile soil needed to be a place of discovery, joy, comfort, challenge, and strength. Next time, we'll explore how it takes demonstrable trust in God's reliability and an openness to be transformed to make our discipleship come alive through our stewardship of all that has been entrusted to us by God. Thank you for the gift of your time and watching and listening to this video. I look forward to speaking to you again.